Alright guys, so this is another fanfiction idea, and this one has always been kind of on my mind, and I've done this as an AU, but I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to do like a pseudo crossover crossing the AU with the actual universe. Just follow me on this. So, what is the story? As you can see, it's Gravity Falls: The Web of Spider Girl, or Spider Woman, depending on what I'll call this. I'm random like that. Anyway. So this is basically bringing together Gravity Falls with the Spider Girl AU I did a few years ago. Anyway, so let's get started. So the story is that this is next summer in Gravity Falls, and Bill's gone, Pines are back, there's still some mysteries to solve, and even Ford and Stan are back in Gravity Falls because they wanted to see the kids too. So everyone's having a grand old time, reminiscing and, hanging out with people. But Ford reveals that he's been working on a secret project. And basically what it is that he's found a crystal that can power and open the gateway again. And everyone's like, no. And he's like, no, it won't open the world to the Nightmare Realm like it did for it won't go to Bill's world. What it will is open the door to the multiverse. It will basically open the gateway into and let us peer into seeing other versions of ourselves. And they're like, oh, cool! So we get to see, different variants of ourselves? Sure, as long as we're looking. So, so even though Stan and everyone else is kind of, worried about it, Mabel's like, yeah, I want to see what I look like in this universe. So, they start, right? Ford starts the thing, and the machine starts powering up at the portal, and then, as you'd expect, things go haywire the moment they start peering into a universe, and something comes flying out of it. And they don't know what it is. It's just a shape. Like a humanoid shape got spit out of it, and they're like, well, where did it go? Where did the person go? Did someone come into our universe? And that's when, Dipper gets webbed up, Stan gets webbed, everyone gets webbed to the wall, and in comes Spider-Girl. Now, Spider-Girl's costume is Mayday Parker's costume, but it isn't Mayday. You see, the Spider-Girl in question is like, hey, the hell are you guys? I don't know what you guys' new game is, but this isn't funny. This is really messed up. I don't know if this is Mysterio messing with me, or this is some clone thing. I don't know, but this is not cool. And they're like, well, how, we don't know, wait, you're Spider-Girl, you're from a comic book. And they're like, and Spider-Girl is like, comic book? Son of a bitch, this is a multiverse thing. Miguel's gonna kill me. And they're like, you're Spider-Girl, right? You're which Spider-Girl? Are you are you Gwen Stacy? Are you Gwen Stacy? Are you Jessica Drew? Because they're naming, and Dipper's naming them all off, and Mabel goes, nerd. And he's like, I'll even sell for Frankie Ray, or whatever. You gotta be Spider-Girl. Obviously with the costume. And she's like, yeah, I'm Spider-Girl, but well, I guess it's another universe, so it doesn't matter about my secret identity. She pulls the mask off, and it's an older version of Mabel. And this Mabel Pines reveals, I'm Mabel Pines, I'm Spider-Girl. Or Spider-Woman. I'm still workshopping the name. I'm getting older. It's kind of transitioning to girl to woman, but we'll forget about that. Anyway, hi. And everyone's like, holy shit. And even Mabel's like, damn, I pull off red and blue really good. So Mabel gets them out of the web. So Spider-Girl Mabel gets them out of the webs and tells her story. And she's like, all right, I'm only gonna do. She does the Spider-Verse thing. If this was animated, if this was an animated special, this would totally be a parody of the Spider-Verse intro. She's like, okay, I'm only gonna do this one time. My name is Mabel Pines. I come from a universe where I'm Spider-Girl. I got my powers after I got bit by a radioactive spider, and I protect New York City. And they're like, you don't, nowhere near Oregon or California? And she's like, no. New York. What? This is Oregon? Ew. She's like, what? They're like, what the hell's wrong with Oregon? And they're like, You clearly guys never been to New York. Anyway, I protect my city from, various supervillains. And they're like, let me guess, like Doc Ock and Green Goblin and the Rhino, Kraven the Hunter. And she goes, and Mabel goes, yeah. Quick question, who do you think they are? And they're like, oh, yeah, like Dipper being and Seuss also being Seuss is also being the comic book nerd. And Seuss goes, Dr. Otto Octavius, Roger Kingsley, Hobgoblin, Norman Osborn, Green Goblin. And he goes, no. Those aren't my those aren't my villains' names. Like, those, at least not their civilian names. And they're like, well, who are they? And she goes, I think you already know them. So, she explains that, some of the people she met in her life, like, they know, are her supervillains. Where they're like, she even points to Wendy and goes, the reason I went after, I tried to web you up first, because I saw you, and you tried to kill me, you've tried to kill me a few times. And Wendy's like, what, really? I'm a supervillain in your universe? I thought it'd be one of your good guys. And Spider-Girl Mabel goes, no. In my universe, you're called Kraven the Huntress. And Dipper's like imagining in his head Wendy in the Kraven outfit, and he's like, it's kind of hot. So yeah, Wendy in the Spider-Girl Mabel's universe is Kraven the Hunter. And as for and she's like, you guys pulled me out of my universe, and I have a whole life there. Not only that, you don't know who else came through. Like, for all you know, my other villains might have come through into this gateway. And they're like, well, who else do you have? And sure enough, they did. The other supervillains did get spit out. Only, they didn't come through the portal like she did in the same way, like got thrown out. They basically got thrown out across town. So let's go through the supervillains that came through, shall we? First off, you have Gideon, who is Mysterio. You have Fiddleford McGucket, who's Old Man McGucket, obviously, but he never became, like, the Prospector or anything. No, he became an old man, but he's the Vulture. So you have Mysterio, Vulture. Then you have Wendy, her version of Wendy is Kraven the Hunter. You have Robbie, who is Electro. You have Tambry, who is the Scorpion. And you have one more supervillain. We'll get to him in a bit. But there's one more villain that we haven't seen yet. Like, there's one more supervillain that we haven't seen yet. The leader of this version of the Sinister Six. And that's the Green Goblin. Yeah, in this continuity, the Green Goblin is the leader of the Sinister Six. And the Green Goblin, like, brings the other 5 villains together, and he's like, imagine what we could create. What we could accomplish. Or we could destroy. I'm not going to do my Willem Dafoe impression. It's not good, as you can tell. But you get the gist. Like, Green Goblin in this version of the Sinister Six are like they all come together and they're like, we're in a new universe with no Spider-Girl, and there's no one who can stop us. So they begin a reign of terror, and they attack all at once. Like, they attack separately, and Mabel they also when they come to this universe, they encounter the other versions of themselves, and they're just like, boo. And when Wendy meets her Kraven version of herself, she's like, damn, I do pull off leopard spots really good. I was afraid of that. I thought they'd make me look fat. And this is more like she looks like Kraven the Hunter in her costume, but it's kind of like Spectacular Spider-Man, where she gets more like cat-like and more lion-like, more like a lioness through genetics. So the Sinister Six are brought together, and the Green Goblin is like, oh, Spider-Girl, I was really hoping you'd come through. And Mabel's like, I'm going to beat your ass. And they're like, who's Green Goblin? Don't worry about it. So they fight, Spider-Girl does manage to fight them off for now, but she knows they want the portal so they can get to other universes, or God forbid, let more variants of the Sinister Six and other Spider-Man villains and create an army of them in this universe where there's technically only one Spider-Girl in their way, and if they kill her, there's no one to really stop them. So, it's bad. But that's when Dipper, like, talks to the Spider-Girl Mabel, and he's like, Green Goblin's me, isn't he? That's why you don't want to talk about it. He's me. And that Mabel's like, okay, I need to tell you the whole origin. So it's revealed, yes, she did get bit by the radioactive spider, but before that, she and her brother were the heirs to Pines Corp, and Pines Corp was run by their version of Stan. They were very wealthy. They had a very wealthy family. You had Stan, who ran Pines Corp, and the Daily Bugle, who was run by Ford, because J.K. Simmons, lol. So they've been very well off, and they were the heirs to the Pines family after their parents were killed in a plane accident. So Stan was going to retire at some point, but he was going to leave the company to them. Now, Mabel was kind of more of the carefree, like, I'm just the heir, like, she was Paris Hilting it up, and like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch, and I have all this fucking money. Dipper was more like, her brother was more like, I am caring about the company, not, you're making us look like fucking jokes. It all comes to a head when, during a exhibition with a experiment involving what is called the Goblin formula, an accident happens, and an explosion happens that kills Stan in front of Mabel. A spider gets out from their one of their projects, bites her, and Dipper is just engulfed in the Goblin serum. So yeah. Now he does know that she's he figured it out that she was Spider-Girl, but she couldn't figure out he was Green Goblin. In fact, the other thing was Wendy was Dipper's secretary. That version of Wendy was Dipper's secretary, and she was kind of like his version of Lex Luthor's secretary / bodyguard, Mercy. So, and he's the one who's also been built, helping to create the other supervillains. So, kind of a big deal. So, there's also kind of another thing that, while Mabel's revealing the truth, that version of Mabel's revealing the truth to them, she suddenly, doubles over in pain, and it's revealed, oh, your molecules aren't adjusting to this universe because you don't belong to this universe. The longer you stay here, the longer you're going to end up hurting yourself. And she's like, yeah, I know. I figured I've done this, the other, Spider-Man Multiversal Travel 101, but I can't let them stay here. And they're like, they'll die, they'll break apart too. And they're like, not before they get to that portal. I'm the only one who can stop this. And it's like, we got to send you back. We will deal with the supervillains, and maybe we can entrap them and send them back next, but you gotta go. So Mabel and Spider-Girl Mabel do have a bit of a heart-to-heart, while Ford and the others decide to take on the Sinister Six. And Mabel goes with Spider-Girl Mabel, and she's like, they're having this conversation where Spider-Girl Mabel's like, look, you probably know that if this is a story to you, you probably know what I'm going to say. Great power comes great responsibility, and I didn't use that responsibility that I could have had, and I could have saved my brother and my uncle from becoming what happened to them. So, I've looked through a few albums while I was in your universe, and I gotta say, you really took advantage of your brother a few times. Just be a sister for once. Just be his sister. And she's like, I'm always his sister. And she's like, be more. Be more as his sister. Be amazing. And she goes, be amazing. And Mabel's like, that was lame. And she's like, I know, sounded better in my head. I'm still you, remember? So as Mabel like opens the portal, just as the Sinister Six like beat their way through the other characters, and different like when Green Goblin blows a hole through the thing, like he just takes the mask off. He's like, hiya sis. I was really hoping to see you again, and Mabel, who's like standing in the way, is like, go, I can give you some time. And Mabel and Spider-Girl Mabel, like as like Green Goblin Dipper's like going at her, he's like, I am going to find the tallest bridge I can find and throw you off of. And there's Mabel right there, like Spider-Girl Mabel, like, sometimes, bro, you really do talk too much. So Spider-Girl Mabel, kicks all of their asses and webs the portal, webs the little controls and sends them all back. And she's like, I'll never forget you guys. You guys were awesome. And they're like having all the adjectives, like a fun joke would be like, we were amazing, spectacular, sensational. And Seuss like, adjectiveless Spider-Man. Yeah, Seuss, that's good too. And so so Spider-Girl Mabel returns to her universe, and that's the end of the story. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much Gravity Falls: The Web of Spider-Girl. Yeah, I just thought this would be another fun fanfiction idea. Honestly, Disney, Marvel, let me do this as like a special project, as a comic or an animated special. I will do this with no problem. And yeah, because this totally screams animated or comic special, right? Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.